Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Art of Shaping Living podcast. Today, I want to talk about when heavy things happen, pain and heartbreak. The other day, someone came on to coaching. I coach on Voxer, which is this like walkie-talkie app. And we were talking about some really difficult stuff that had happened for her. And she was just feeling so heartbroken. And sometimes I think that now that we know how to process feelings, now that we know how to move through things, that we should do it so that we can feel better as quickly as possible. But I actually think that we lose a lot when we do that. I think that pain and that heartbreak and that hurt needs to be felt. And I think there's a lot of beauty that comes in from the feeling of it. And I don't think it should always just be our goal to feel better right away, to feel happy, to feel peaceful, to feel joy. I think that when we're feeling loss and heartache and heartbreak and pain, that our allowing of those feelings, our welcoming of them, our accepting of them can be really beautiful and really sacred and really holy. And I was thinking the other day, the thought came to me. I was talking to a friend about mourning specifically. And I was talking about this idea of allowing ourselves to mourn. And the thought that came to me was like, we just need to feel the pain. We need to allow ourselves to feel the pain for longer instead of trying to feel happy all the time. It's really uncomfortable to be around someone that's grieving, that's had a deep loss, that is feeling heartbreak, that's feeling any intense hurt. And usually our first go-to is like, how can I make them feel better? If you can relate to this, has always been my go-to. I read a book, I think it was Brené Brown's Dare to Lead, and she was talking about empathy, and there was 11 empathy mismatches, so ways in which we think that are empathy but aren't really. And the one that landed for me so much was trying to fix it, trying to make somebody feel better immediately. And she said, that's not empathy. And in that moment, I knew that it was true. I knew that I was trying to make other people around me feel better more quickly because I was uncomfortable with their discomfort. And so as I've had opportunity to be with others in their hurt and their loss and their heartbreak, the thought that keeps coming to my mind is let them feel the pain. Let them feel the heartbreak for as long as they need to. And this came in again as I was coaching my client over Voxer, was like, we just need to feel it. We don't need to try and make ourselves feel better. Right now, that's not the step that we're on. Maybe we will be on that step later in the future, but for now, it's just to feel. And the metaphor that always comes to my mind is the imagery of a child who's scared or sad, and they're coming to us in the middle of the night for comfort. And if we told them, yeah, I'll sit here and feel with you, but I'll only feel with you for a small amount. I only can handle you this much, and I'll only feel with you for a small amount of time. And I need to make sure that you're going to feel better in 5 minutes because I can't handle more than that. That will be too much. That they wouldn't feel safe. They wouldn't even come to us. They would turn around and walk away. They wouldn't feel supportive. It wouldn't feel safe. It wouldn't feel secure. And it's not what they need. And I think that so often our emotions are like those little children that come to us in the middle of the night and they're scared and they're sad and they're hurt and their heart is breaking. And instead of trying to dismiss or condescend or tell them to think about happy things or that it's not that big of a deal, instead of focusing on the light in those moments, we just sit with them in the dark and in the heaviness, and that there is a lot of beauty that can come from sitting with others in their pain and from sitting with ourselves in our pain. And the more that we can allow ourselves to feel those things that feel heavy and uncomfortable, the more willing we will be to be with others in their heavy heartbreak and pain. And it has been a huge blessing for me to have done this work over the last several years so that I can be with others in their hurt and their heartbreak and not try to just make it better or put a Band-Aid on it or tell them to look at the bright side, but to truly just be with them in their sadness. And I think it's a gift that we can give others, we can give ourselves, and that we can give the world. So if you're in a heavy time right now, if you're feeling hurt, deep loss, heartbreak, pain, grief, just know that you're not alone. There's others feeling that way also, and that we are feeling it with you, and that you don't need to feel better. You can feel this way for as long as you need to feel this way. I think of it, instead of avoiding it or trying to like move on past it, I'm welcoming it. I'm welcoming this season of feeling this way and feeling this way deeply for people in my life and for my clients. And I know that the level we're able to accept and welcome it is also the level that will feel its opposite eventually. I don't think that there's a time frame on that, But I remember Brené sharing a quote about the level of negative feelings that we allow ourselves to feel is the level of positive feelings we allow ourselves to feel. If we numb the negative, we numb the positive. So if you're in the middle of what feels very negative feeling, allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to feel more of it. One of the shame messages that comes to us is that you won't be able to handle this feeling. It'll come in, it'll feel too much. It'll completely bowl you over. It's going to feel like a wave, a wash that just bowls you over again and again and again, and you won't be able to get up again. And one of the things that I've recognized within myself and also within my clients is the more that I ignore that message of it's going to be too much for you and allow the muchness of the feeling in, welcome it even more, the more I'm really, truly able to be with it, be with others in their feelings, what they're feeling, and that I am able to handle it. I think it shows my brain like I can feel even big things. My capacity is much greater than what my shame brain tells me. My capacity is huge, especially for feelings. And I think that they're beautiful. I think it can be it makes life beautiful. It makes life colorful. And more importantly, it helps us really comfort and feel true empathy for others without trying to fix it all of the time. So I hope this was helpful for you, and we will see you next week on the Art of Shame-Free Living podcast. Thanks for being here. If you are enjoying these episodes, I would love for you to follow, subscribe, like, share, do all those things so that it can get more out into the world, more out into the algorithm, and join me in this shame-free movement.